I want to put to you today is that your allegations about General Mkhwanazi and Prince Makadi being CIA agents strike me as a misdirection tactic. What's your response to that?
Investigation is investigation. You may have that belief now, but ultimately the outcome of investigation will show whether we are correct or not, will show the result. But it's not intended to misdirect.
Well, let me give you a couple of facts. Yeah. You mentioned yesterday a coal mine in Richards Bay. There is no coal mine in Richards Bay.
It's correct.
But you mentioned a coal mine.
Yeah, I can rephrase and put it in proper context. The coal mine is in Mpumalanga. I wanted to say the end route, the route that is utilized is the Richards Bay one. Thank you so much.
Well, then let me tell you that the Richards Bay coal terminal is owned by a consortium of more than 10 different mining companies, each of whom have their own export quota. Did you know that?
I'm not aware of that.
And each of these, I think it's either 13 or 15 mining companies, control how that export quota is used. So they can decide who they want to export coal to from Richards Bay. Do you know that?
I was not aware of that.
You see, what I want to put to you is the notion that you advance in your statement that, and you refer to the off-take portion of this coal route. You say this off-take, the off-take portion of this coal route is owned by Israeli interests. That's what triggered this investigation, apparently. That notion is completely fanciful. Because short of buying up all the export capacity of between 13 and 15 different mining companies, it's not possible to own the off-take portion of the Richards Bay coal terminal. You know that?
I cannot give a specific answer, Commissioners. Remember, if you are given information, and that information also involves, like I said, the Chinese were interested there, and also involves not Misuzulu, the prince, saying he's being harassed because of that, saying Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi is actually opposing him at all costs because of that. You end up believing that the state, that's why I've given that statement.
Let me give you another fact. You say in your statement that there was a fear that the coal terminal and the export route was going to be shut down. That's in your statement. That's apparently why the so-called Western interests got interested in.
Yeah, according to information, according to the source, that's what I heard. That's what.
What I want to put to you is that there's never been any suggestion from government that the Richards Bay coal terminal is going to be shut down, and that, on the contrary, in the period you speak of, government's been investing hundreds of millions of rands in improving the rail link to Richards Bay.
Yeah, Commissioners, the information was, there was a feeling from the West End that since South Africa took Israel to court, to the International Criminal Court, that may be halted. That's how I have phrased it.
Let me take it further. Do you know that since 2023, when you say this investigation started, the output of the Richards Bay coal terminal has been increasing steadily?
That may be, yeah, it's possible. I'm not conversant with that. I was sticking to my investigation, Commissioners.
You see, what I want to put to you is that if you or your handler were genuinely investigating a CIA plot through General Mkhwanazi to protect Israeli interests in the whole of the export, the offtake from the Richards Bay coal terminal, you'd have been able to discover the facts that I've just given you in 5 minutes on the internet. So you really wouldn't have come up with a story which is self-evidently absurd.
Commissioners, if whatever senior counsel has been saying comes from the internet, then, investigation doesn't work like that. And I'm disappointed, senior counsel, that with those powerful facts that may be written by someone who has interest. Then they are presented before the commission, and I do not know. In fact, whatever that you've been saying, it means, remember what I said in my word, I can put up a website, take my people in 5 days and give you the opposite of what's written.
I want to put to you that if you actually investigated the notion that one, the Richards Bay coal terminal was under threat of being shut down, that two, it was controlled by Israeli interests, it would take you less than 5 minutes to realize it was absurd. And I want to put to you that the fact that you didn't take those 5 minutes, you or your handler, to do it, suggests that you weren't actually investigating these allegations.
Commissioners, investigation of that kind, we don't go to the internet. You have 5, 6 people here with a bot, those that have knowledge showing you what they think, showing you what is happening on the ground, showing you there is kind of a system which is used when you are dealing with that. And I'm saying in my statement, if you check my statement correctly, I'm basing, just like the chairperson said yesterday, he was using a different language about hearsay. A hearsay is tested until, through investigation, until you get the result. It's not that the result will always say, yes, General Mkhwanazi is a CIA. No, you investigate, you get the outcome, then you rely on what you have. But since we have not got anything, it means what you say will stand, but will not stop us from investigating.
So you want to put in issue that the Richards Bay coal terminal is controlled by between more than 10 different mining companies. You're not satisfied that that's the truth?
The interest, that's the truth, according to what you say. I'm not sure, I don't know. But when you talk of Western interest, commissioners, there is a term called this white monopoly capital. It's a different thing. It's not what you see, having 10 companies, having 5, 6, they will say black people, CEOs. That's not the case. When you talk of a particular business interest in the size of that business, it's not what you see on the internet. It's not what you see.
Well, what I do want to put to you is that the suggestion that General Mkhwanazi and Prince Makadi are CIA operatives working to protect Israeli interests in Richard Bay coal.
Is it not King Misuzulu?
King Misuzulu, I beg your pardon. Is one, false, and is two, a misdirection tactic. It's designed to take attention away from the allegations that General Mkhwanazi is making.
No, that's not the intention. It's not the intention. The allegations General Mkhwanazi is making, I'll give an example. Today, the whole country knows that Mr. Senzo Mkhunu is corrupt, is aligned to the drug cartels. Till today, they have not brought one evidence that links Minister Mkhunu to those things. Even they will say the same applies. Remember I told you about this Boko Haram and Ket Madlanga. The Ket Madlanga is portrayed one of the big fives now. Let me tell you, Commissioners, South African Police Service, it is expected that is the only institution, whether ESCOM, Telcom, when you have